You are listening to the Metal Gear Resurrections. Intro and outro music by Fingers. Podcast cover up by Buckflip Simmons.
So disclaimer, not to say that all the other voices from the Metal Gear Mondays podcast were insane people. I misspoke. When I said sane voice, what I meant was more reasonable. Someone's that's more middle grounded, not like super fanboyish that a lot of people tend to be. Also, not to say that the rest of the crew are fanboyish, but like everyone else, not every creator is perfect. There's going to be some flaws, especially in the stuff that they create. That's the process. So that's what I meant by. All right, and I'm joined with Zach James, a familiar voice from people. I would say for my end, like I've heard like your voice amongst many others from Metal Gear Mondays. I would say like one of like the few sane voices. Just poke jabs at several people, but
there's a lot to unpack there.
And just like listening to like, especially if you go back and listen to like the past episodes, it's like kind of like reliving moments of time of people's lives, and it's like, wow, it's a time capsule. So how's it going, Zach? What's up?
Yeah, it really is. So I'm doing well, thank you, and thank you for reaching out and having me on here. It's so funny to think, because I thought for sure like my days of talking Metal Gear were long behind me, and yeah, then you hit me up, and it's so funny to think about. It really is the time capsule. I mean, from when I first wrote into Metal Gear Mondays to then I was a guest a couple times to even being a co-host at one point. And I like to think that those are I'll have to go back and re-listen to those now because I haven't in years. And those have got to be some pretty funny, like vertical slices of my life at those points.
Yes.
And yeah, that's going to be funny to like think back because I think back to how I was back then and like how I thought everything was. So yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed my contributions though, and apparently that I could be one of the sane voices.
I mean, I would say like I do a lot of driving, so I need something to like kind of pass the time, and something that's gonna like keep my attention. And so like like we hear everybody else like especially around 2020 when like shit was like starting to like slow down and like shut down. Just typing in Metal Gear into a search engine, it's like, oh, what's this? Metal Gear Mondays. Let me check it out. And I mean, by the time I caught your voice around, I think you were going through like several iterations. Like you were like, I think you came on as a fan first, and then later on, as a co-host, and just like hearing like your backstory and what you were going through during that time. And I definitely, I've gone through like basically the gauntlet and just like trying to like get everybody that I can, because I would say for some people I'm still trying to get a hold of. Like not everybody's on social media, not everybody is like gonna be on Twitter and such.
It's Isaac, isn't it? You're having a hard time getting a hold of Isaac.
The funny thing is that like Facebook told me where Isaac is.
Really?
He's like the last person I'm gonna like try to grab, but like I wasn't even looking for him. Like I didn't type in his name or anything. It was like, hey, this is somebody you might know. And I was like, I don't really know him, but thank you for pointing out, Facebook, you snitch.
That's too funny.
Yeah, and especially like for a lot of it is like really. I played these games like when I was in high school, so like around '98. So I only had like the one other friend to talk with. There was nobody else, and if I tried to talk to other people, they were just like, "What are you talking about? This is a game? Like what? Like I don't know what you're talking about. This doesn't sound fun." I was like, "No, it's fun."
I remember, basically pre Phantom Pain when that was kind of when it blew up. But before that, like if you were talking about Metal Gear and someone else like your husband was like, "You talk about Metal Gear?" It's like we just became best friends. Like we're gonna talk about all this now. Happened to me in middle school and high school and college, several times where like friendships were built on this niche love of this series. It's weird anti-war but still really cool war series and all that.
Oh yeah.
I also laugh at because I was fairly young when the first game came out, and so I just remember it being like cool and there's guns and all that, and thinking it was like a war game and not understanding like all the subtleties and the subtext. Where now I'm like, I may not agree with everything, but I see where he's coming from.
No, I was gonna say it seems to be like the one thing where it's like when you first like play it, you're like you get into the heat of the moment, especially when the characters are just like so in love with like the hardware that surrounds them. Especially when you get to like Snake Eater, it's just like a love fest for weaponry, and you kind of get into it. You kind of get with the character, and you're like, yes, I love guns, I love war. And then as you progress and get older with the series, you're like, no, this is really bad. Like I should really not be loving this exactly. But yeah, no, I hear you. Like so, what was your first experience with Metal Gear? Like how did it all begin for you?
It all began because my stepfather had it on PlayStation 1, and I just remember watching him play it. I was a kid, so I really couldn't get the handle of it at the time. And then I think I would just always run around the heliport and then get killed and spotted and all that. And then I remember Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, and that was a lot more user-friendly. And so that's where I started actually playing it myself and getting a grasp of how to play it. And then from there, it had its hooks in me. And I played all of them except for 4 in the Twin Snakes until I was older, just because I never owned a PS3 and I never owned a GameCube. Till I was older and I had some walking around money and I was able to buy that stuff. And then I could not have been more obsessed when 5 was coming out. And then, funny enough, in 2016, I had kind of a similar thing with you, where it wasn't so much of like the world was slowing down, but I was working an overnight shift. I was the overnight janitor at Planet Fitness at that point. And just trying to find podcasts to listen to. And so similar thing, typed in Metal Gear and Metal Gear Mondays popped up. And I was like, all right, like what's this? There really hadn't been any kind of Metal Gear podcast at that point. And then I sort of scrolled through because I'm like, are they actually going to know what they're doing? Are they going to be like one of these ones where they just read from freaking Game Informer and they're not actually talking about it? And I saw they had an episode on Ghost Babel, and I was like, that's like one of the most obscure entries in the series. Like, what's all this about? And then from there, I was hooked on the show. So to give a long answer to a short question, that's sort of my history with Metal Gear.
No, it's good. It's good. I would ask like what would be like your favorite title out of all of them? It could be like canonical or non-canonical.
My favorite title out of all of them, I'm going to give 2 answers for this. Okay. The first one is going to be the first Metal Gear Solid, just because that is such a clean, tightly written, tightly played, good story that's got a beginning, middle, end, and it could have been a standalone. And it's a standout for that. And then Metal Gear Solid 5 for gameplay.
Yeah. I can understand that. Like, majority of the answers I get, it's like either 1, because like it's where it's like it started for so many people. 3, because it seems to be like the one thing where like people go to all the time, because it's a prequel, it's the beginning, kind of like shows you like how did it all come to be. 2 lately, I feel like 2 is getting some love. Basically like years down the road, and 5, I see people like really enjoying 5 again because it's so clean, both like control wise and visually. Still, even to this day, it's
such a gorgeous game.
Very nice looking game.
If only the story had been complete, then it would have been like, no question, it would have been my top of the whole series.
I remember like during that time where it's like, like social media is like ramping up, people are going like very heavy with it. It's just like, and everything's unfolding for that game, like almost like in real time. Where, like Kojima's like, oh, he's on vacation, and it's like, well, why would a company announce that? Like, why wouldn't a company announce that employees on vacation? Who gives a shit? And then it quickly becomes like, no, he's fired. It's like we parted ways.
Fell downhill very quickly after that.
And I kind of see why, because he's a creative, and it's like when you give somebody like that, some leeway and freedom, they're not going to count the money. So the money people are going to get very upset that you're just like dumping millions and millions. I can see why.
Then you also get Death Stranding, and I have plenty of opinions on that one.
Well, that was just like almost like unhinged, where it's like, yeah, just let him go free. Like, let's see what he can do.
It's like, can we tell the guy no? Like,
I mean, good.
My distaste for Death Stranding has only grown as I've gotten further and further away from it. And then the trailer for the second one came out, and I was like, can we stop with this nonsense? Like, there's literally a guitar battle against a mech that's piloted by a baby right now. Like, and for those who haven't seen the trailer, none of what I just said is inaccurate. Go watch it. You'll see.
No. I mean, the teaser was like 2 years ago, and it's just like, it was very like perplexing, where fucking what's his name, Higgs is back, but like, he's like masked up and with like fucking electric guitar.
Yeah, he's got like Joker makeup now. It's all over the fucking
place. It's makeup. It seems like that was masked. I think he was masked initially in the trailer, but it's very like 80s rock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that going to be his primary weapon when I fight him in the game?
Yeah,
like,
his electric guitar that shoots lightning for some reason. It's like, where's the theme? Where's the theme and the symbolism that you're not just gonna smash? I mean, was this guitar made by John Guitarman? And the guy who built the ship is John Shipman. No, I guess that is an actual last name. Like I said, for those who haven't heard it, go to the Death Stranding season of Metal Gear Mondays and listen to me go off from the very first episode.
It's one of those games where it's like I played it and I was just like, I still had like Metal Gear brain, and it's like, I'm gonna sneak around and just like sneak my way around. It's like, no, that's not how it works. There is no sneaking. Like once the shit hits the fan, it's just like consistent. Like you're just getting bombarded left and right. It's like, oh fuck. So it's more like I need to run or like get good at making shit like roads and fucking zip lines.
Well, dude, that was the thing with mine. So I went through that whole game with a handicap because I fell during the tutorial where you first learn how to build roads and all that. Well, I fucking fell in a river and I lost all the shit, and so I just never got the blueprints to be able to build roads. So I just had to rely on ones that other people had built, through the whole sharing thing. But I never built a fucking road.
Oh man, I mean, I played it originally, the director's cut. I didn't get the PS4 because that shit was like, I was like, nah, I don't got money like that right now. It's like, let me just wait. And it's like, oh, director's cut. But of course, why wouldn't there be a fucking director's cut for his games? But playing it, it's like, I don't know
the game that he directed.
Yeah, it's like, what game is this? I can't even get there is no other game to compare it to, really. And it's just like, I'm just out in open waters, basically. It's just I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like, I can't kill people because that would just make a fucking crater. I was like, no, okay. What can I do? Knock them out, cool. But no, I mean, other than that, it's an okay game. The first one was it's decent. It's all right. I'll see what the second one is, which, you're right. Everybody's a man. There's Tar Man, Doll Man. I'm forgetting now, but in the first one was Die Hard Man.
Yeah, Die Hard Man.
Heart Man.
Heart Man.
Which is very on the nose. It's he's got a fucked up heart. That's why he's Heart Man. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, he dies every 36 seconds or something like that. He's like that character from SpongeBob.
And then just seeing all his friends fucking body scan into this game, and it's what?
I hate it. I'm so sick of just the face and body scanning of real people into video games. Even a little bit with Metal Gear Solid 5, I was all all right. It was cool when they did it then, and it was cool when they first ever did it with Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty. But then they just, especially in freaking, the only ones that looked like they weren't out of place were, funny enough, Mads Mikkelsen and I'm blanking on Margaret Qualley, I think her name is, who played Mama and the other twin. Those, they did a good job with them, but the rest, it was just sort of and especially Norman Reedus. It was like, come on, like really, this is our front man here.
Yeah.
Like he's a great actor, but he's not really video game material, if you ask me.
Who's like perpetual like oily man, like I was his name,
Yeah.
like oily man. Like even when you wash him, it's like, bro, you still look dirty. Get back in there and scrub up. That's the future. They don't use soap. Maybe the soap is in the water.
They got fucking Monster Energy though. That was another one that was just like, come on.
Hey, when you need the money, you gotta like reach out.
Apparently so.
That kind of goes hand in hand because like, oh, Monster gamers, like yeah. But I'm so used to like Monster being part of like maybe like Call of Duty or Mountain Dew is what I'm thinking maybe. But yeah, that's what I usually think of. Like, shouldn't you be like in another game where like it's all about like weaponry and killing?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like here, it's like, nah, we got a baby, we gotta soothe when shit gets crazy.
It's just very, very strange game.
But I mean, I was gonna say, like, are you excited for like Delta at all? Like, how is your fandom?
I am.
Yeah.
I am very excited for it because for the most part, I've been pretty checked out of Metal Gear overall the last couple of years. Of course, I bought the remastered edition when it came out on Steam because it's like, oh cool, I finally have Metal Gear on my computer, something I've wanted for years, other than that janky GOG port that they had.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and that's been fun to revisit it. But I am very, very excited for Delta because Metal Gear Solid 3, while it's not my favorite, it is probably the one I played the most as a kid, just because there was so much to do in it, and it looks fucking gorgeous. That game looks so good from what they've showed so far.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it almost feels like, because I remember I was one of the many people who were pissed of like, oh yeah, look at these HD remastered cutscenes, and it's for the pachinko machine. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm never gonna go play the pachinko machine. So to finally sort of have an even better looking version of that for us, like diehard players who weren't gonna go take a pilgrimage to a fucking pachinko machine in Japan, I'm very excited about that.
I was gonna say exactly like. I mean, Konami doesn't probably realize, like, the real diehard fans will want to go overly to Japan to, like, these, like, weird-ass parlors where, like, people are just smoking constantly and just be like, yeah, this is where I want to be to check out a fucking very nice, well-rendered cutscenes for a game series that, like, I love. It's like, nah.
If I were ever to do that, I would 100% do it in full Metal Gear Solid 3 Naked Snake cosplay.
You probably wouldn't be the only one over there to do that shit like that. To be honest, like I just get the vibes like, people have probably done like crazier shit to go to like parlor.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know they call it like patchy slot or pachinko parlor or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm not well versed in that world, but I would ask like how going back to 5, how did you feel about Kiefer doing the voice? Did it bother you?
I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Of course, I would have loved for David Hayter to have reprised his role, but I thought, especially, with the reveal afterward, it made even more sense. But I thought for this more jaded, kind of older, he's really had his legs kicked out from under him version of Snake. I thought that Kiefer's more subdued performance really lent itself to the overall character, and again, especially with the reveal at the end too. Like, this makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, once you get like obviously like everyone's like fucking before even the game came out, it was really like kind of like almost spoiled already.
It was in the trailers for Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
Especially the one where it was, I think, the gameplay reveal trailer, because it straight up had him. Going, kept you waiting, huh? I remember that.
Yeah, no, like, I was gonna say like when the game came out, like originally, like it's like people are gonna like go crazy and just like fucking try to beat it as quickly as possible. And I remember like people were just already spoiling it like at least like a day or two after its release, where it's like, I'm still gonna play it. Like I don't give a shit, but it makes sense. Like, okay, he was the medic. Yeah, okay, I get it. And I think now like it got to this point. Like I think currently, like present day, like David Hayter's like finally gotten over it, where he had like a huge like I'm not in that game. I ain't gonna talk about it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so then it became like, I'm playing this game, but like I'm gonna do it in like this fucking PS1 polygonal Solid Snake skin for this whole run. And I was like, all right, that's kind of funny, but throwing jabs, but like I would have said more in this one. And I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and it's complete, but it kind of lends itself to it too, because especially at that point, Big Boss and Venom Snake, they're not Solid Snake, and so they're not going to have the same. And even Big Boss in, well, I guess Naked Snake in 3 compared to Solid Snake in 1 and 2. Very different characters, so very different performances, even though they're by the same guy. So no, I'm sure when it first came out, I was sort of like, oh, where's the original voice? But nowadays, I'm like, I think it was great. I think it lends itself and it enhances the overall experience to me.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like it's probably gonna be like ending up being like Sons of Liberty, where it's like it wasn't really liked when it first initially came out, but like years later, people like reminisce, go back to it, and then go like, oh, okay, I can accept it. I get it now. I get what they're going for, and things like that.
And the really cool thing is, if we ever get a proper, just complete overhaul of Metal Gear 1, now we get David Hayter playing against Kiefer Sutherland, and that's two very heavy-hitting voices to be going against each other for that final confrontation, which I'm okay with.
I can only imagine like what that would fucking sound like. It's probably gonna, like, if you wear headphones, it's probably gonna like fuck up your ears just hearing like
probably
both of them scream.
Well, there is a channel out there on YouTube who they've done like a Metal Gear 1 anime. And now, of course, it's all AI voices, so it's kind of janky. But if you wanted to hear what that might sound like, I forget what the channel. But literally, if you just type in Metal Gear anime, it'll probably pop up. But yeah, they've got AI voices of David Hayter's Solid Snake race versus Kiefer Sutherland's Big Boss in that.
I think I probably like have seen it and I didn't realize it. Yeah,
I've seen it in passing. I actually haven't sat down and like watched the whole thing because it's divided up into a bunch of parts. But
I would say, like, who's your favorite character for the whole series?
I would say Big Boss. Big Boss is my favorite character because of several reasons. A, just because he's the whole start of the series. Yeah. But also following him across the series and across different games, especially, we get kind of weird when you get into like Portable Ops and Peace Walker, but the main ones for him of Metal Gear Solid 3 to Metal Gear Solid 5, both versions of that, to see how this expert soldier who still was a rookie when he first went in for Snake Eater and all that became disenfranchised and disillusioned with the system that brought him up in the beliefs that he fought for, and then sort of again just kept getting kind of kicked in the teeth, having his legs kicked out from him, but still made something of himself and still fought for what he believed in, which was not a country but an ideal, and for his troops specifically, which makes that one sequence in 5, even though yes, I know it's Venom Snake, but when he's all emotional after he has to kill all the dudes who are infected with the parasite and all that. Spoilers for a 9-year-old game at this point. That sort of downfall, but the fact that we get to follow that transformation, and then to find out it's not actually him, but he still was sort of playing things behind the scenes, and then his closeout in 4 and being like, I never really wanted to be the bad guy. I just dealt with the circumstances that were put in front of me, and deal with what Zero did and all that. I relate to him in a lot of those ways because I myself have dealt with a lot of getting my legs kicked out under me and having systems that I've believed in turn against me and all that. So that's why I would say he's my favorite. That, and especially because in Delta he's just stacked. Like, who doesn't want to look like him eventually? He's almost like a return to form of like that quintessential 80s action hero, and I'm all about that aesthetic too.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's definitely spot on with like the body type. I would say like that was his thickest like he got.
100%.
Like, it was the point like it was even dialogue where it's like I think like the boss mentions like, oh, you lost weight. I can hear it, but he's like, yeah, but I got muscle still. But talk about like the fucking wildest fucking character, like the whole timeline.
He gets put through the ringer,
beginning to end. And I can see like when people say like, they're fans and such, like I can see like getting behind it because like he literally got fucked over so many times to the point where it's like, all right, not only does he get like fucking beaten down, like fucking thrown off a bridge, he gets like fucking irradiated several times in his lifetime.
I was gonna say there's stuff too, like the whole bikini atoll test, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna put this guy here and see what it does to him. Like, what? And then he just kept going with it.
It's like, cool. Will I get powers? Probably asked. And just fucking like coma boy left and right.
Yeah, he went through like 2 comas, I think it was, or something like that.
I remember, he went through like 2 comas, and I think like the third one was like medically induced by the Patriots when he was like in 4.
That's what it was.
I think from like the end of Metal Gear 2, all the way to 4, just like fucking being medically induced in a coma, and like kept on ice in a sense.
There was the one where it's still kind of shady on if he was actually in a coma post Ground Zeroes or not.
Oh yeah.
But then I know after that, because in '72 was when they did the Full Terrible. My Metal Gear nerd is showing. At one point I had a friend who was like, "You could teach a college class on this, like with how much you know." But '72 was when they extracted the DNA for the cloning and all that. And then I guess that medically induced one was after that. So it's poor guy. He's been through so much.
And then like fucking taking like literally just like them just taking Solidus Snake, who is like the fucking perfect version of him, and just being a guinea pig for him, like, Big Boss got, burns, we're gonna take fucking skin off this dude, put it on him. Oh, he's missing something, take it off this guy, put it on him. I think even like fucking taking pieces of like liquid, maybe even like for like certain things. I'm trying to remember. I mean, like misremembering things.
Well, the biggest thing I think they did take a little bit of liquid, but the other thing was they took Liquid's arm, and that's what they put on Ocelot. And that's how we got Liquid Ocelot. That freaking guy.
Oh God, it's just like you thought you had like a perverted uncle that he just like took it up like to the next level. That fucking game where it's like if you have like a loved one, whether it's like whoever you have in your life, like do not let them be in the room at certain points for that fucking game. And just like hearing like the backstory and the history of that fucking game, where it's like, oh, we're gonna get like these gorgeous models and literally scan their naked bodies for this game. It's like, holy fuck, like what is happening here?
But again, that was when Kojima still had people telling him no. So
yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, it's like, I'm gonna do photo mode. No one's gonna know about that, right? Yeah. It's part of the gameplay here. Like, come on.
Gosh.
And it's just like
gameplay. All 27 minutes of gameplay in an 8-hour game.
Like the fucking snakes. It's like Solid Snake. Stay away from beautiful women. Naked Snake, Big Boss. Go after women. Heavy. Fucking Liquid. I have no idea what's his story. Like I've never seen with anybody other than like his people, and apparently Psycho Mantis since like he was a kid. And Solidus is just like, I'm the fucking president of the United States, and if I'm not, I'm fucking gonna like take over this country. And like technically he was kind of like the good guy before like he got fucked over.
He really was, like in the long in the long term big scheme of things, he absolutely was the good guy, because he was trying to prevent the overreach of power from the Patriots and be like, the shadowy group of who no one knows existed, they shouldn't be able to call the shots from behind the scenes. So and of course, we gotta take him out. There's no peaceful resolution to that one in that game.
And it's like, how are we gonna take him out? We're gonna send in like this like very pale boy that has like a past history. Now I know why he's so pale after like the Master Collection, like going back, like they like took his fucking blood out of his body and like replaced
we took your blood out.
I was like, oh, that's so fucking weird. I was like, what? I was like, I don't remember that. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, is this like a Mandela effect where I'm fucking misremembering shit?
That was in the original. Yep.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, that's even creepier. And it's like, and the skull suit is gonna like put pressure on your body, and like, no, I just made his hips look way more accentuated. Yeah. And then I was like, I can see like the fucking what's his name, President Johnson was like just crotch grabbing as soon as he sees Raiden. It's like
a lot of crotch. Yeah,
I don't know if you're a girl or boy, but I'm grabbing you.
Like, why not ask before we just go right to the grabbing? Like,
if you're so afraid, why is that the first area you grab?
Why is that your first course of action after dodging
a rocket?
Dodging the rocket that you kept running in front of, and I'm trying not to hit you. You know?
Like, oh. It's like, fucking president. God damn it, get out of my way, sir. I mean, I had like the sick joke where it's like, when I hit the president in the head with a fucking rocket, I just yell out, "Sic Semper Tyrannis!" In a sense.
John Wilkes Booth just clapping from wherever he's at.
Oh God. What was I gonna ask you? I don't remember.
It'll
come back to me. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll remember these things. This is how I usually go through the process, where it's like there's no real notes. It's very like organic and fluid, and
makes for a better conversation that way.
Exactly. It's like I don't want to go like, well, here's 10 questions, and just stay in these lanes of these 10 questions, sir, or madam, whoever I'm interviewing at the time. But yeah, no, I mean, for this series, like, was there a time where it's like there's like a storyline or like a part of a game where you're like, no, this doesn't gel with me at all?
Yes.
Okay.
When I revisited all 4 main entries after playing Death Stranding, and I realized that I wasn't as big a fan of Kojima and his work as I used to be. So, like I said before, first one, phenomenal. Great little package deal. Could stand on its own and be one of the greats, because it is one of the greats. 2, basically a point-for-point rehash of 1, which I get is the purpose, with a whole hell of a lot more dialogue, and then some crazy predictions that he had no idea if it was actually going to be true or not, that ended up being pretty pertinent today. So a lot of that dialogue is, when I was replaying, I was like, get on with it, playing through it.
Yeah.
3, the story's all over the place.
Yeah.
And I would say that was one of the biggest disappointments for me, was realizing that as an adult, is I don't like 3 as much as I did as a kid because of that, because a lot of it was exposition dumps and information dumps on like an 8th grade fast scan of a Wikipedia level of understanding for a lot of geopolitical events going on at the time, or just in general. Plus just a whole lot of extra dialogue where, again, it's just like, get on with it. 4 was about 2/3 of a game too long. I greatly enjoyed the first section when you're in the Middle East, and I really enjoyed the Shadow Moses section. The rest of that game, holy fuck, why was it so long? Like the Europe section, where it's like, tail this person. That should have been one screen. It was like 6. And then, actually, I really enjoyed the finale too, because who doesn't love that? Just that beat 'em up at the end after you go through the microwave thing and all that. So, that didn't gel with me, just because it was just so bloated and so convoluted, and we're just bringing everyone back, but in a way that didn't feel organic. And this is going to sound pretentious as fuck, so I apologize in advance. But in the years since I've become a storyteller of my own, I write books and all that. So I've learned about prose and crafting narratives and all that. And having all that in mind as I visit, I was like, man, these stories are fucking janky with a lot of this stuff. And then 5, I mean, the only fault I could say for 5 stories is that it wasn't finished. Other than that, it may not have been the direction that I thought it was going to go in, or that I think would have worked in a really good way, but at the same time it worked in its own way, and it sort of then lent itself to making more sense for Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2. And even though it wasn't finished, and there are some things in it, like, oh yeah, Psycho Mantis and Liquid have been chilling in fucking Africa this whole time together. It's like, what? Like, all right, like, that's awfully coincidental and wasn't brought up in the first game, but cool, whatever you say. So I would say my biggest gripe is just, those exposition dumps in 3, along with just the X-Men cast of characters that were the Cobra unit. Like, really? He controls bees, and he's like a human spider, and that dude turned into the Mummy after he died. Like, what the fuck is going on? And these guys stormed Normandy, and no one wrote about it. Like, I feel like some 18-year-old from Milwaukee would have been like, "What's going on over there?" Like, people gotta know about this. If he survived, of course. Oh, fuck. And then, like I said, 4 was just four was just a mess of a story.
I mean, I like 4. I hate that it's stuck on the PS3 still to this day. Like, we're in the year of our Lord, 2024. It's like, Hey, you
Well,
want to play
actually,
4?
it's on whatever the hell PlayStation's version of Game Pass is, because that's how I played it on the PS4.
Oh, really?
It is, yeah. Well, it was in 2020. I don't know if it's still
Yeah,
is.
no,
but-
not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay.
They took it away. And I had a feeling they were doing all this shit to coincide with some kind of collection release, because I think that happened first. Then they like delisted 2 and 3 off of all digital storefronts. So people were just like mad dashing to like fucking buy it as quickly as possible before it was taken out, or just like everything else, buying a physical copy, because I think like Xbox One is backwards compatible. You could still play it if you had a hard copy of it too.
You could, yeah, because I remember that's how I replayed 2 and 3 was on the HD collection for the 360 on my Xbox One.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can get behind. I can understand like where you're coming from, because like not all these games. I'm never gonna say like, oh, Kojima's next to godliness. Everything he does is perfect. No, not perfect.
I'll throw hands at that point after Death Stranding.
That's like Exhibit C. It's like, let's go to the other ones, like F4. Why the fuck did Meryl and Johnny get married? What is this Mr. and Mrs. Smith shit at the end?
Yeah, I know, right?
Where they're just like kind of like tangoing and like fighting and shooting at the same time. It's like, no, what are you doing? And it's like, she's proposing to him. It's like, all right, I get it. She's a stronger woman. Cool. He poops his pants. I can't get behind that.
And don't forget about the weird alien-looking monkey. That character that added a lot to the story.
That thing is just like so fucking creepy. It looks sickly, and I'm like, don't touch me, you weird little thing. Like, get away. Like, oh no. But 5. Like, I think it didn't help that like people like fucking data mine that game to like find the extra content, and it's like, oh no, like that. The extra content actually is really good. Like, I would have enjoyed playing that, because currently you got like some fucking, I don't know how old he is. I say 14-year-old like Liquid running around in Africa with a fucking Metal Gear. It's like, what the fuck is that? How do you end that way?
Here, he was either 12 or 14, because that was here. What year?
Because I
think
something was like mentioning in like that fucking data mine cutscene.
Yeah,
where,
he was 12, because it was in 1984.
Yeah, I think like he was like pre-pubescent or some shit. Like the virus is not like fully taking hold or some crap like that, but it will when he does. I was like, okay, cool. Thanks for telling me. Like, when his balls drop, he can't speak English or some shit like that. I was like, thanks.
Are you really surprised by that though? I mean, it's good.
No, I'm not fucking surprised, because like they went off to like fucking give us pause in Peace Walker.
Gosh,
at first was like fucking underage, and then like when Ground Zeroes come by, like, oh, joking, not underage, because that's really creepy. She's actually a spy in her 20s.
Oh, that's because Kojima is fucking creepy. But yeah, it's funny too, because I thought actually, you know what? Yeah, I'd say that's probably the weakest part of the story for 5 was the whole virus thing. And the fact that it's like they can't talk their language, and that's a problem. Like,
oh fuck.
All right, like it's a weird, sans lingua franca. I just remember that from the trailer. It's like this is the biggest thing to worry about. They're not going to be able to talk. Like,
I mean, yeah,
it'd be real inconvenient, but I think we could still get around it.
It's like they're like trying to interrogate quiet, and they're like, she's not speaking, and I'm like, well, maybe you want to try a different language. Like, there's so many people on this fucking mother base that speak so many fucking different languages.
Yeah, considering you list the language that they speak when I scan them with my fancy little scanner tool,
Exactly.
Or I don't know, maybe break out a fucking chalkboard. That's
like,
such a wild idea.
You can write, can't you? You can write.
Well, that too, and again, just because oh yeah, she got the virus, so she can only breathe through her skin, so we're gonna put her in a bikini. Like, what?
I remember that. I think he also said like, this will make sense later on in the story, which
I don't think it ever did.
It ever did.
Take it back.
I think it was just like, hey, she looks hot in a bikini. Let's keep it with that.
Yeah.
And then like the creepy stuff where it's like, oh, check out the extra skins. It's like, okay, I get the gold because of the whole like James Bond thing, but the blood thing was like really creepy and weird. I think that's like some kind of thing from like over in Japan. They have like some kind of thing with like blood. like I don't know what it's called, but there is a thing. Like I'm not like actually saying things to me because look like bad or anything. I always say that for like context to like the listeners. Like I'm not a racist. I know
really obscure races. Yeah, those Japanese, they're obsessed with blood. They're almost as bad as the Lithuanians eating all our paperbacks. Like, whoa, Johnny, I don't know who hurt you, but
oh jeez, I just lost my Lithuanian like sponsorships. Damn it. God. No.
Every time with this shit. Last week it was the Latvians.
It also doesn't fucking make sense. Like, whenever skins is like her XOF uniform, it's like, I'm pretty sure she could just drink the water and she'd be cool.
Yeah.
She'd be alright. Like,
I actually, once I unlocked it, that's the skin I had.
That's the one you use, right?
Because I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, there's also, like, probably in the back of my mind, because, like, I'm a guy. Like, when people see, like, Stephanie Houston in real life, are they somewhat disappointed?
Yeah, they definitely did her a disservice by making the character that hot.
Like why did you
that's not to say she's not an attractive woman. If she showed up and was like, "Hey, let's get married," I wouldn't say no. Stephanie Houston is gorgeous, but she does not look like that in real life.
I mean, she probably gets asked that, but like, what? Like, didn't you ask that when you saw the footage of yourself? Like, hey, I don't look like that. Why'd you guys do me like that? What's up? What's going on here, guys? And plus,
I'd be curious to know if she did or not.
They probably didn't show her. They probably show like the alpha rendering where it's like it's just actually her, because they did have like the whole like mocap suits and like having like walk around and do stuff.
Well, even in the when she's fully clothed, you can't tell.
No.
So
they probably showed her that. They're like, probably. This is what you look like, and she's like, cool. And the game comes out, and she's like, what the fuck? I'm like half naked. What's happening here?
Yeah, that's more than half. And then just to go on with the creepiness, I think the fact it's like, you know, you show up and she's like showering and she's just surrounded by all the time and dog soldiers.
Oh like, man,
what is happening on this base? You know,
it's like those certain cutscenes when you go back to Mother Base where it's like you kind of feel the heat from the characters. That's one of them where it's like it's getting really hot in here. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
it's like exactly. Everyone's just ogling her. Like, yes, there's a lot of guys at this base. There are some women, not a lot, a few, but they're just like fucking ogling, like, oh, look at her, she's showering. Oh, check that out. Yeah, boss, get in there. Like, oh, this is getting fucking creepy.
But then on the opposite side, you get things which is very realistic of like, you have the two soldiers when you first get DD. The one's like, I want to touch his toe pads. The other dude's like, what?
Like, what did you say? It's like,
but that's more realistic dialogue, and I laugh and stuff like that.
True.
That's 100% what it would be like. I've seen it myself. Like, hey, we got a new cat on the base. Like, I gotta find it so I can pet it. Like, don't touch the cat. All right, well, I'm gonna go pet it anyway.
I mean, that's probably better. Like, other than like the beginning of like when you have like the kids come over and it's like Big Boss is like, we're gonna use these as soldiers, and Kaz is like, fuck that. I'm not teaching these kids to be soldiers. It's like, watch, and he just fucking disarms him. And meanwhile, he's like, he has like one arm, one leg, and it's like, huh, see how he was to disarm these fuckers? It's like, all right, fine, we're gonna teach them, let them go to school.
There was a severe lack of bullying of Kaz in that, because he was just such a pain in the ass the whole game. And they should have just been like, talking a lot of shit for a guy who can't stand on his own, and just pushed him over.
I mean, that game is like so unhinged Kaz all the way through. As soon as you rescue him, it's just like he's just scorched earth. I want to fucking annihilate everything, to the point where he does scorch the quarantine base. Not the quarantine base. Yeah. He just like fucking napalms it while you're in there. It's like, fuck it, drop it.
Could you have waited? Like, I'm still in here.
I don't know, like maybe they had cameras and he's like, oh fuck, they're leaving. It's like they're literally gonna go outside where the birds are. It's like, I'm dropping this shit.
Yeah. You've got Venom Snake and unhinged Kaz.
And it's just like fucking Ocelot just like watching it all and just like, just another day. Just another day.
All part of the plan.
I mean, Kaz is very like, you kind of see the beginnings of like the woman hating, I guess, because maybe he's missing limbs and his eyes are all fucked up, because he's very catty towards like Quiet as soon as she like steps foot. he's like, this fucking bitch. I'm gonna get rid of her as soon as possible. Damn, Kaz, like, chill out.
Just fucking shaking with rage in his room.
She's
in
my
the
buddy.
face. Yeah.
Come on, I'm trying to get on my buddy list. Get out of here. It's like, you lost your chance. And then I guess, like, maybe they're realizing, like, as, like, they're writing and going through the game, that it's like, oh shit, we're making Kaz very, very hyper aggressive and hyper violent. How about we do a little story, a funny story where it's like, Kaz likes to make the perfect burger. Let's do that with, like, fucking Code Talker. And then it's so random.
Them a little bit.
And it's like, what the fuck is this?
I mean,
because one of his names is McDonald?
Honestly, probably. Like, that's probably the amount of thought that went into it, knowing how fucking Kojima approaches character development. That being said, on the side of character development, I'm going to give him a compliment here, because it was very much that, even though there was more than two as the story went on, but Kaz and Ocelot were sort of that angel, vice, devil on Venom Snake's shoulders. And so with that, it made sense, because Ocelot was sort of like, he was that more methodical approach of, hey, let's plan this out. Let's stick to what we know works, you know, what our strengths are. Whereas, like you said, Kaz was like, fucking burn it down, you know?
He was.
And so for that, and that dichotomy, and like I said, you sort of added more when you added that piece of shit Huey in, or when you brought in Code Talker and all that, which, funny enough, I actually didn't get that far in the game before I eventually had to, like, shelve it, because couldn't bring my Xbox in via certain areas and all that. So I never got too far into the Code Talker stuff, beyond just, like, watching cutscenes. So I don't have it memorized as much as the stuff I did play. But that dichotomy I really liked, because it did sort of show the two sides, because they all lost stuff.
Yeah.
But especially Kaz, you know, losing his limbs, and honestly losing his dignity with it too.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, they've basically taken everything I was, of my capabilities of being this badass soldier, because I can't do much now. It lent itself to that character. So all the jokes aside, that dichotomy of that sort of push and pull, methodical vice, burn it all down, I did really enjoy that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I can joke about it, like, oh yes, because, like, you know, that's part of, like, being a fan. Like, yes, it's fan is short for fanatic, and
the jokes write themselves, because it's such an outlandish game in so many ways.
I mean, we go from, like, one where we hear stories of, like, of the character. Like, I think they actually do a little background and probably the conversations on Kodak, and then, like, when you get to, like, Peace Walker, like, Kaz is very, like, ladies manish.
Yeah,
he's like, I would say, like, most of the guys are, like, whatever-ish at that point. They don't give a shit. They're just like, hey, you know, big boss horny. He gonna get some.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, like, Kaz especially, where it's like, he'll be like, oh, you know, it's fucking Pacto beer. We can't fit these people. And then as soon as he hears the woman, he's like, whoa, hold up. I think he actually says, like, how does she look? And it's like, oh, fuck, here we go again. Like, fucking A, here we go. I mean, it's like, you cannot say, like, Metal Gear is not horny. Because if anyone ever comes up and says that Metal Gear is not horny, that is, like, the biggest indicator that they've never actually played any of the games. Because even in the first one, horny.
Yeah. Oh, look, if you go 3 times, you can look at Meryl doing sit-ups in her fucking underwear. And if you if you follow her into the bathroom fast enough, you see her in underwear too. And when she's mind controlled, make love to me, Snake. It's like, no, woman gross, slap, and then you fucking shoot Psycho Mantis in the face. You know? And same with 2. Yeah. Actually, I think 2 might have been the least horny of them all.
I think
other than the posters, because I can't really think of any, like. I guess Fortune had that weird, like,
the, like, swimsuit
bathing
yeah.
But even then, she wasn't. Other than that, she wasn't really hypersexualized.
No.
I mean, yeah, they made Emma piss herself, but that's just sort of an Otacon family staple. So
that's like fucking Emmerich. Like, it must be like a gene where they all pissed themselves. Yeah. Like, even fucking piece of shit Huey pisses himself several times.
So yeah, thinking about it now, I think 2 was the least horny of, other than, like, you know, the posters, which is very funny, because I saw a YouTube short recently where in the Japanese dub, Snake has this great, like, as it was described in one of the comments, shitlord laughs, where after like Otacon's sort of like, oh, that's gross, Snake's just like, and then the codec ends.
I mean, I think you're right. Like, I think 2 is like the least horniest. If you don't count maybe the whole like vamp biting people, like biting as like a sexual thing as well.
True.
I'm not gonna count like the whole the vamp thing. Like, well, they call him vamp because he's also bisexual. I'm like, I'm like, okay.
But see, I don't
weird.
even think like the whole sexual biting thing is even in the same league as like,
yeah,
especially once we got into 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. I fucking man. Like, I had like my wife walk in on me playing 4 when I'm fighting like I forgot who. I think it was Laughing Octopus.
Oh no!
And it's like the whole like she's like trying to come after me and shit. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, this is a game. Like, this is how you play.
Look, I'm actively shooting her.
It's like, you don't understand. It's like, he does not like women. He's scared of them.
Actually, thinking about it too, 3 was horny, but 3 was horny in a way that kind of made sense. And I'm not I'm not being a Kojima apologist for this kind of stuff, because at least with Eva, she was very much supposed to be that Bond girl.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, although then you get into like Vulcan and knowing that Snake was an imposter by crotch feel alone, that's a whole different story though.
With his like, yeah, he thought he saw his boy toy, and he's like, get over here. And it's like, what? And he like goes for the reaffirming grab. Like,
an imposter? Like, what?
What the fuck? I just want to know, like, what are you supposed to feel? Like, is it bigger?
Maybe there's a piercing.
Smaller? I don't know. I mean, Rajkonovich.
But then, yeah, from 4 on, just off the walls with the horny.
I feel like for 3, if you talk to Paramedic, it gets to some points where it's like, I feel like we're on the verge of like phone sex.
Yeah, I remember.
She kind of does like this admiring thing where it's like, whoa. It's like, are you into me? Hold on. It's like,
and of course, but my favorite is because Naked Snake is so fucking oblivious when it comes to any kind of advances
Any woman
that he just has no idea.
I mean, it's like the opposite. He's like, he's super oblivious to women, but like super on point to men.
And guns.
Yeah. Oh god, man, the whole like gun scene where it's like, I just was like, do you want me to like leave you alone in the room with the gun?
Yeah,
I feel like you need a minute.
I'm a big gun guy. I love guns. I own several. I shoot all
the
time.
You don't say, Zach.
Who would have guessed, right? And even that scene, I'm like if I was in a room with someone who was like that, I'd be like, you need to dial it back. Like you.
The way he grabs it, it's like fucking hyper aggressive. Like, fucking hey, man. Like, I think he needs to like have 5 minutes of alone without guns. And kind of like,
here's the guns lube. I'm not gonna ask any questions. Be back in 5 minutes.
But yeah, like with 3, like, because like you said, like Ava's like the Bond girl who's like using her sexuality to kind of like get information from people.
Because it was even said that, I forget if it was a Chinese or Soviet, but she was a graduate of a charm school, I believe. And that was a real thing in the Cold War. It was all about honeypotting. So it makes sense for the character. It's sort of on brand for what she was there for. So again, but from actually even before 4, I would say from Peace Walker on, which is where the horniness went way up.
It just like skyrockets and just like, we're going higher, baby. We ain't coming back down. It continues on Death Stranding too. It's like there's different levels of horniness for that game.
It gets weird in that one.
It gets fucking hyper weird where it's like I'm going in the shower and like fucking I think Guillermo del Toro like fucking pops up in my shower and I'm naked. I'm like, oh fuck, what is this?
And you can't skip it. It's like, I don't want to see this.
Like, this isn't my dream that I thought about. God damn it. Not you, Guillermo.
Maybe if it was Benicio del Toro, I'd be okay with it. But come on. I got the wrong Del Toro.
Wrong one. And we're like, from photo mode for MGS4. We're back to photo mode for Death Stranding 2. How weird can you make that happen? I know people are going to be doing some crazy shit.
Yeah. Can't wait for that to be in my Twitter feed.
I mean, because from first one, like, rumors are like, hey, Norman Reedus was scanned naked. And like, hold up. Where can we find that? First people are saying, like, where can we find Norman Reedus' penis?
Well, I mean, they've been trying to see that since fucking Walking Dead, so...
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys. Like,
if Daryl dies, we revolt. Like, shut up.
Fuck you. God, man, it's...
I don't have a lot of opinions on these things.
I mean, fucking Kojima just loves his guys with gravelly voices for, like, the American side. I can't say for the Japanese side, but if you go to the American side, it's like, it seems like almost like he has a type for his, like, lead roles or his protagonist.
Oh, it sort of goes back to that 80s action stereotype.
Yeah. I mean... At least, like, most of these characters have, like, more dialogue than Keanu Reeves does in his John Wick films.
True. That is very true.
But except for 5, I feel like that's on parallel.
I would say, yeah.
Possibly.
For Venom, for at least Venom's sake. Big Boss actually has some pretty good monologues there at the end.
Oh my god, yeah, he talks a lot. Like, fuck, man. It's like, you fucking talk so much, like, I have to, like, space my time out to fucking play these games. That's how much.
He had 9 years of lore to catch up on.
It's like, hold up, folks. I got my piece to say. Hold on. Here we go.
Dude,
about to say it.
I know we've been kind of touching on it. That was one of the biggest things that made me want to hit Kojima with a brick in Death Stranding, was taking all the backstory, all the important details, and in a game where you spend 99% of your time fucking walking, didn't put them in audio logs, put them in emails. Why would you do that? It's the perfect way to do exposition for a walking simulator. I'm still upset about that.
That would have, like, probably made the game more, probably, like, not like better, but maybe, like, seamless, like, especially when you're transitioning from, like, leaving, like, whatever depot you're at or storage area and, like, going on to, like, fucking into the crazy world. If you could listen to the dialogue or, like, say, like, the in-world music, but I can understand, like, they had, like, their own music when it's like, things are settled. Listen to, I forgot the band's name.
Oh man, why am I blocked?
It's like, is it Churches?
Hold on.
People are gonna be like, wow, these guys are definitely Kojima
Low
fans.
Roar.
Yeah, there you go. But who's the fucking band?
Low Roar, that's who it is.
That's the name of the band?
The ones who did, like, Don't Be So Serious and all that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Low Roar.
Gee, Zach's got it on point right there. Like,
it's not me, it's Google. I pulled it up. I can only think of the song names.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I know Cole's gonna get on me. He's gonna be like, "How'd you forget Low Roar?" It's like, sorry.
I mean, like, what can you not have said, like, about this, like, entire series and the guy, like, face of it? Like, I keep revisiting, like, other people's podcasts and, like, in stories and interviews, and there's definitely like a story and dialogue, like, change from between 1 and the rest of them. It's very on point with 1, and then it gets kind of muddled down for the rest of them. Like, because I feel like there's, like, other people have come in, stories have changed, people gotta fucking backtrack, like, oh shit, we fucking fucked up the storyline here. We gotta remember this shit so we can remember down the line, like, you know, X, Y, and Z happens in these years, and, like, after each title we see, like, redacted timelines.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh, this is edited out, and people literally go back, like, I don't got time for this shit, but people have gone back and be like, oh, this is what, like, changed for this timeline and that timeline. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, damn, you got fucking time, bro.
Yeah.
Not me, but I mean, for the series entirely, like, it's enjoyable, it's fun. It definitely does make you think, especially, like, involving with, like, I know a lot of there's not a lot, but, like, certain fans are like, Metal Gear's not political. I'm like, bro, we just literally had a fucking president in the first one come to the second one and be like, I'm fucking taking over this shit. Sons of Liberty.
I would say the same as what I said for anyone who says Metal Gear isn't corny. Anyone who says Metal Gear isn't political never played the game. I'm just gonna, or they just skipped, or they figured out how to skip all the dialogue. Apparently,
these are the same people who are like, David doesn't love Hal. What the fuck are you talking about? And it's like, bro,
he didn't know the guy. Like,
they're literally raising a fucking kid together in the fourth one. What game are you playing? Are we playing the same fucking game? But no, this.
Oh my goodness!
This is like a whole.
That's so funny.
There's just like, even like you keep playing these games over and over. There are certain points where it's like, oh shit, I don't. You either remember things or you kind of like forget it because there's just so much information. Yeah. Dialogue, even like the codec / radio conversations. There's just like so much information to pull from these games, and you know, it's like that's what like kept me like in the series and kept going with it. I don't know about you, Zach. Like, what has kept you staying a fan?
Even though I've definitely reduced my level of like fanness of it, like I said, after revisiting all of them in 2019 and 2020. But what keeps me going back, and what I really enjoy about when I do go back, and I'm not just like, get on with it, because fucking Rose is asking what day it is again. Is because, like I said, first game came out in 1998, right?
Yes.
I was 5 years old. So
wow,
if I took away the beard, you'd be like, "Why is this child on my show right now?" So one thing that I've really enjoyed was going back and revisiting it every 5 to 7 years, and especially as an adult. And that's why I'm probably going to revisit the series -4 again sometime soonish. Is as I've grown and come to understand a lot of things. Like, I studied geopolitics in school. I studied political science. I studied, national and international security studies and things like that. And so it enhances the games in a lot of ways, because then I'm like, wow. Like in the first one, they're talking about the START II treaties and the non-proliferation. They referenced Rhodesia, which was still a fairly new development when that game came out. It's been a little while longer now. Because it's Zimbabwe now, and things like that are talking about things like the nuclear football in the second one, or again the anti-proliferation efforts in the fifth one, and then the blood diamond conflicts and stuff like that. Stuff that when I first played them, I maybe knew a little bit about from like a history class or something, but now I'm like, oh, like that's either really cool, or for a lot of the stuff in 3, I'm like, what the fuck was he smoking when he like wrote this? But on the positive side, that's why I love going back to it. And also it's just got that feeling of nostalgia for me. I'm going back and revisiting these games that were so formative to me. I mean, hell, for the climax of my very first book in my Modern Mercenary series, Deception, it was directly influenced by the prologue of Metal Gear Solid 2. It takes place on a tanker ship in the Hudson, on the Hudson River. And the reason it does that is because I wanted to write that as sort of an homage to Metal Gear Solid 2 as a reference. Because yes, even though I may not be as big a fan as I used to, I can't not acknowledge the fact that I wouldn't be where I am today creatively had I not had Metal Gear as a very early formative influence for me. So that's going to be my rambly answer of what sort of has kept me going and why I'm still a fan.
Hey, and that's good. I mean, there's no like wrong answer when I say to people, like, especially like it depends. Like, I'll talk to people who are like close to my age or older, or people even way younger, like in their like 20s, and it's like everyone has like a different entry point to the series.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, whatever got you into the series and kept you, that's great. Because my thing is, like, when things were pretty bleak a couple years ago and like nothing was being done, like social media wise, it's just like basically like old heads keeping on to the fucking game, like old men yelling at clouds kind of thing. I was thinking, like, how the fuck are like the new gamers gonna enjoy this fucking game? Like, what are you doing over there, Konami? Like, what the fuck are you like on about? Like, oh, the game's gotta be ripped out of the stores because we fucking forgot about copyright licensing. Like, motherfucker, you're a billion-dollar company. You didn't forget shit.
Yeah, you can afford to renew it.
And this is like probably the plan. They're like, no, fuck that. We're gonna like re-release these fucking games and get more money.
I'm not a. If we could get a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 in like the Fox engine or like what they're doing with Delta, fucking take my money. I will gladly buy that. Or even if they did some of the more obscure ones, like if they wanted to make Portable Ops into a full mainline entry for that, or combine Portable Ops and Peace Walker, or however the hell they want to do it, I would be perfectly okay with that. I think that'd be great. That would be a really good. They would be printing money at that point because all of us old heads would buy it again as well, and they'd be getting a newer generation of the market. So I hope they do that someday. I'd be perfectly okay if they wanted to be greedy. Like, we're going to re-release it. As long as, asterisk here, the first one is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, not the Twin Snakes. Because even though I enjoyed the Twin Snakes, that's a goofy fucking game.
No, watch, they'll do the opposite. Like, we're going to take Twin Snakes and remake that. That's easier. I'm like, no, you're missing the point. Don't fucking do that.
If they took some of the elements from Twin Snakes, like they took like introducing the tranquilizer gun again and having all of the updated sort of quality of life controls and all that, I'd be fine with that. But also, I mean, as cool as the first one would be, imagine, especially if they redid Metal Gear Solid 2 in the style of MGS5 or how it's looking with Delta, but they made it where it's fully explorable and it's all in real time, seamless transitions and all that. Whereas, and you could explore the entirety of, at least Shell 1, because I know Shell 2 kind of had its own things going on. That would be awesome, and make it almost a little more open world while also still having your objectives. I would, again, take my money at that point. Insert the Fry meme here.
I mean, because Twin Snakes, I mean, it's all right. That was like my little brother's like entry point because he had the game. We basically had the GameCube for him.
Nice.
It's like I had the PlayStation. I was like, I'm, teenager full of angst. I need this fucking. I'm the Sony end, and my little brother was like Nintendo. So he got into the point, and I was just like watching him play, and I was like trying to tell him like, oh, I see what they're doing here. I was literally telling him how to break the game. And then he's like, oh, and once you kind of realize what you can do to break the game, it starts becoming less fun.
Yeah.
And enjoyment. And then I kind of like killed it for him. I was like, oh shit, sorry, dude. I was like, maybe I should leave the room when you're playing these games, because I do get like, if I'm watching somebody play, like if I'm like we're all like sitting on the couch and like I'm watching, I will get like fucking like not aggressive, but like kind of coachy, where it's like, if you do this will happen. Like, what the fuck are you not doing that part? Like, God damn it, aren't you listening to me? I'm trying to help you.
Play the game right.
I know what I'm doing here. I'm the expert in quotations.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, now that like, Kojima's not around, obviously you don't have to like abide by like, his kind of like his universe of like of his titles. You can like, it's like a free for all. You can do whatever you want. Fix the games that you couldn't fix before because of limitations of the hardware. Like, obviously, Portable Ops and Peace Walker, those were like PSP games. You're limited by that. Like, and in the beginning of it, the fucking system only had like one little nub of like, it wasn't even like analog sticks. It was like a nub, and it was one, and that kind of hindered Portable Ops.
Did you ever play the HD version of Portable Ops for the Xbox?
No, I didn't.
Man, so they completely revamped the control scheme for it to be, dual analog stick on a regular controller. What a world of difference that made when you actually have two sticks to move. Because what was it? You had the stick and then you had to use the arrow buttons to like look or something like that on the PSP.
Exactly. It kind of like it slowed the gameplay down like a lot when you did shit like that, and it's like, oh fuck, this is not fun. It's okay. Yeah. It's not fun. It's gonna like really make this gameplay very like long. That should be.
It's going to be the most depressing thing if they ever do do a full remake of Metal Gear Solid 2, is Solidus's voice will have to be different because, unfortunately, John Saigan passed away.
Yeah, I think he did not just Solid, it's like didn't he do like Old Man Big Boss as well for 4
I
or
believe he did.
yeah, like that unless they do like the Delta route where it's like you use like the old like voice recordings and like just like kind of like fix it up a little, but I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
For
Well, that was the
title.
thing. That was the thing they ran into when they did the Twin Snakes, just to show the depths of the nerdiness that I used to have for this. When
Yeah.
they had to re-record all the lines and all the audio for the Twin Snakes because when they tried to upscale the original voice recordings from the first game on the PlayStation, the soundproofing wasn't very good, and so the newer technology was picking up like cars going by in the background and shit like that. And so like we got to re-record everything, and that's why a lot of the stuff is doing. Like I think Naomi lost her accent,
Yeah.
or no, I'm sorry, Mei Ling lost her accent.
Both of them.
And did they both lose their accent?
Yeah, you're right. They both lost their accent. That's when like they lost their accents.
And I think Gray Fox had a different voice too, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was Greg Eagles for like Twin Snakes.
I don't believe so either. But yeah, so that was why, because like the old technology. So I'd be curious to see if that would be an issue. I would hope it wouldn't be, because it would be great to have him be reprised, even though he's unfortunately passed away. So that would definitely be interesting. I don't know if anyone from Konami's listening to this. You should really remake the rest of the series. It would sell like fucking crazy.
Fucking A. Like, I enjoy like the porting of like the titles, like, because I played those games. Like those are the games I kind of like grew up with. I don't know how it is for like younger gamers. Like maybe they'll find it like it's too slow or possibly even too hard, because I've noticed that games nowadays kind of help you as you play. Like, for instance, like God of War, if you don't get a certain like puzzle, like if you don't get it, it would actually kind of tell you where you should be looking at. And it's like, oh, I kind of hate that. Like I want to figure that shit out myself. Like, why are you babying me?
Whereas Metal Gear Solid 1 had damn near tank controls and was unforgiving with a lot of its combat and its puzzles that you had to do. Yeah. Hope you enjoy backtracking, because you got to do it a bunch for weapons in this one key bit.
I mean, even the fast travel is slow. Like you have to go find a truck, put on the box for a certain area, and then like just wait for like a couple seconds. Like, all right, it's loaded. Let's fucking run this truck back to the other place. Like, fuck. I probably would have been faster if I just ran.
Yeah.
The whole way through. But yeah, I mean, this. For me, it's super enjoyable. Those are the people I talk with. A lot of it's like fans, and that seems to be like the one thing where it's like it kind of like it's the series where it's like for this game, like it's brought people like kind of like together, even to the point where like it's like even like a group of people like out in California like started like a small little convention just for this series alone.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, MGS Con, and they finally had their second one this past summer. So it's like you don't really like. I've heard like usually you go to like other conventions and like like X, Y, and Z companies here, and like they're gonna promote this game, or like there's even points where like certain games like even do have like conventions of their own, but like for this one, I didn't think that was going to be possible, and I was just like pretty cool. I was like, oh man, like this is like, yes, finally I'm old enough to enjoy this and actually partake in it. Like if this shit happened when I was like a teenager, I'd be like, oh fuck, I can't do that. Damn it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
That's really cool. Maybe one day I'll get to go to that. Now I can just be like, because I pulled up here at MGS Con. I guess it happened back in July. I'm going to try to go to the 2025 one. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's all been in California because it's much easier for like them to get like the talent, basically like the voice talent.
Yeah,
I think like a chunk of them do actually live out there.
I think that's correct. A bunch of them are, because I know a couple of my friends from the old show were just out at and I think Oregon. Yeah, I think they were in Portland, and a bunch of the original voice casters out there too.
Oh yeah, there was like a convention in, I think you're right, Oregon. I don't know what it was, but
I
yeah,
don't
you're right.
remember which convention it was, but
Dude,
yeah, because he said they were out in
Yeah.
Portland.
Yeah, there's so many conventions nowadays. It's like it's crazy. You can't
Yeah.
keep up. It's like holy fuck. Like they just keep popping up left and right, and like festivals, and it's like, well, now I'm an adult. I can enjoy this, and then I'm like, oh shit, now I'm an adult. I can't afford enjoying this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
take a
got
chance.
bills to pay. Like I got a job to go to. You brought up a really good point though that I
Yeah.
want to kind of hammer on for a second of the fact that this game is really good about building a community for itself,
Mm.
and and it goes back to kind of what we were joking about at the beginning of the recording was before the podcast and all that, it was very niche, but it was almost
Mhm.
guaranteed to at least get a conversation going of, hey, did I hear you like Metal Gear? I also like Metal Gear. Let's talk about it. And usually,
Yeah.
it seems like 9 times out of 10, that resulted in a friendship. And then it expanded with podcasts, Discords, stuff like that. And that was the same with me with Metal Gear Mondays. I'm still friends with a lot of those dudes, even though that show's not around anymore.
Mhm.
And to the point of which I would consider some of them my best friends. I got to go and meet and hang out with Cole and Sam in Tennessee in 2021, and I met folks who even since then, and then we connected through it, obviously. So again, it's still working.
Yeah.
You and I connected through it, and I'm sure there's a couple other people here who, if you want to chat Metal Gear, and you're a listener to this, hit me up. I'm always happy to talk about it. That's one thing that I'm definitely going to say is a huge positive, because it is kind of so niche that when you find the people who are into it, like you've more than likely found some kindred spirits that even if it doesn't go beyond good conversations, you're going to get good conversations. But from my personal experience, you probably just made yourself some new friends.
Oh, no doubt. Like because of this podcast, I talked to a lot of fans, and then when I went out to MGSCon 2 in California in July.
Oh, so you were there in July?
Yeah, I was there.
That's cool.
It blew my mind. Like it went beyond my expectations. I definitely like refueled like my fandom. Like like there were some points where you go lull and like
Yeah.
I'm a fan, but then like I got to be basically surrounded by people who are fans just like me, or even more, like certain levels. And it just like it was very fun, and it's like very enjoyable to like get to like talk to people and chat. And that's what I mostly did. Like I partook in the convention itself, like the panels and stuff.
Oh, nice. Which panels were you on?
What's up?
Which panels? Did you
No. I mean, I get to like no, not like that. Like, but like I was.
Oh,
able
you
to,
just
like,
attended them.
attend. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
No, I was not gonna do that. Like, dude, I'd be so fucking nervous to like fucking get
Just
on
go
there.
for
It's
it.
like, oh fuck, like what do we talk about? I'll just be on stage, be like, hi, my a fan. Like, hi everybody.
Do you
How's
guys think
everybody
that Solid Snake likes pancakes? Like, it's like completely just like sweating up there.
I'm already sweating right now. It's like, oh my god, I'm talking to Zach James. I'm sweating right now. Like, what do I do?
Oh, stop! I'm just a regular dude. Goodness
No, but like,
gracious.
I
You're gonna
mean,
make my head. You're gonna make my head too big. I'm not gonna be able to fit through the door after this.
I mean, I was able to like enjoy like watching the panels, like because I actually got to like basically stay in touch with people that ran the convention, like
Yeah.
kind of like talk with them, like because everybody else, like we're all fans. And when I got there, I was like, I'm definitely gonna hit up X, Y, and Z, this person, that person. And it got to the point where it's like I got shit-faced drunk, and like people were just like be like super nice and be like, hey, it's like oh, you're Johnny, like hell yeah, I hear you like edibles, you want some? And really thinking about it now, like I really shouldn't have like been so like partaking, and just like sure, just like
All
kept,
those
like,
school
taking.
classes. Just say no. What are you doing, Johnny?
No, I had to say yes, and then I was like just literally just stoned ass high in the middle of the convention, and like, where the fuck am I?
When Naked Snake offers you an edible, you don't say no.
And just like watching all like the Peace Walker big bosses walking around with Dorito bags, going like, I'm gonna fucking steal one of these Dorito bags any minute now, and the shit's gonna hit the fan. That's like
That's awesome.
I mean, that's the part that's like fucking enjoyable. It's like you get to communicate with people, you get to talk. It's like, especially like if you. I remember coming off like the fucking shutdown where it's like very scarce with like human interaction, And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
holy fuck, I need to talk to people or I will go crazy in a sense. But yeah, it's it definitely brings people into your lives. In a good way. In a sense.
And
Like yeah.
that's one thing that I will, even though I may think he's fucking nut job and he's not as great as everyone makes him out to be. That's one thing that I will always
Yeah.
be eternally grateful to Kojima for is A, those memories and the inspirations that he gave me as a kid, but B, all the friendships that I've made
Hmm.
since because of the series, be it when I was in school, college, a couple folks in the military, we were like, hey, you're also a nerd. Cool, we're going to hang out. And then 2016, meeting all those folks and just it exploding from there. So, and even this now, this is awesome. You know, getting to meet and chat with you, and hopefully I'm able to catch you at MGS Con 2025. I'm going to try to be there. So,
Oh, I will be there. Like for MG's Con 3, I decided like this is my vacation, like my
that's awesome.
pilgrimage. It's like I'm just gonna come out of this convention and just be like me and maybe like not drink so much so heavily like last time. I mean, I asked around like, was I an idiot? Like, what did I do? Like, I had my clothes on. That's what I remembered. It's like I wasn't like stripped naked and running through the hallways. Like, oh my god, I love Metal Gear. But no, like from that convention alone, like I've met people who were like literally. I was out in California and people were like, "Oh, I live in New York," and I go like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like that's where I'm from. It's like,
Are you from New York?
why haven't we fucking talked?
What
Uh,
without getting too much into it, what part of New York are you from?
oh no, I put it in it's in my socials. I'm from right now. It's Hyde Park, New York. I live in Poughkeepsie.
Get the fuck out of here,
Yeah, because I know I remember you
dude!
from.
I grew.
You go ahead.
I was originally in Fishkill, like the Poughkeepsie area, and now
Yeah.
my parents are still over in like the Middletown area.
Yes, 'cause I think you mentioned a couple times in the podcast, like certain like locales of like the Hudson Valley, and I was
Yeah.
I was like, Zach, he's just like around here. Where could he be? And it says, nah, but
Dude, that's awesome. We'll talk offline, but I'm gonna be
Yeah.
up there soonish, so maybe we'll link up at some point when I'm local. That's
oh, most
fucking
definitely,
awesome.
I'll email you. We'll try to see what happens, dude. I'm the same way. Like, it was to a point where like when I lived in Poughkeepsie, I was right by the waterfront. And I would just literally just like be like my fucking nerd self walking towards like the water and be like, the Hudson River
You've got
2 years
to.
ago. And I was like, God
Especially if you
fucking
got like a good,
damn it.
especially if you got like a good. Well, now if you really want to do it, I would recommend walking over the George Washington, but do the walkway
Yeah.
over the Hudson on like a rainy night.
Can you imagine like fucking walking on that thing and like some like fucking park rangers watching me in a poncho, just like walking slowly and just like fucking beating the fucking the walking bridge. The guy's gonna be like, what the fuck is he doing?
He's got
Don't fucking jump. Read the signs.
Jump.
You need help.
Stop it.
Pick up the phone.
or
Yeah.
in an astronomical chance, he'll be a fan too, and he's like, "That guy's all right."
I know what he's doing. He's doing it. He's doing the snake run.
Dude, that's awesome. What a small world. I had no idea
I know.
that you were in New York. That's so cool.
Like at least like 4 people I've come in contact with all live in New York, all parts of New York, like from like Westchester on up to the Hudson Valley.
Well, that's what I usually hear is like they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm from New York." I'm like, "Where are you from?" It's either this city or like Buffalo. I'm like,
Oh fuck.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
where it's like, that's cool. You live in Rochester, bro, but I ain't gonna drive 6 hours to see you. I was like, this is like the best we're gonna do right now. But yeah. I mean, Zach, like, also the point, like, also, you're also an author, so I want to make that into a point. Like, you have anything to plug? What are you working on?
Actually, I do.
Yes.
So, on October 1st, I released my 6th book, which is called Persona non grata, and I think you'll like it too because a lot of it is, so it's a modern mafia book that takes place mostly throughout the Hudson Valley.
Nice.
So that just came out. If people want to read some of my more military-centered stuff, that would be the Modern Mercenary Thriller series.
Mhm.
And if they're more, it's sci-fi horror, old school sci-fi horror. I have an original book in that too. It's called Occupant. It's very much that late 70s, early 80s slow burn horror until it's not. So those are my current those are the books that are out right now. So if anyone wants to go buy those, check it out, hit me up, at authorzachjames on any of the socials, or authorzachjames@gmail.com if you want to talk Metal Gear or whatever. And then for current projects, I'm working on a cyberpunk book, which is proving to be a very interesting project so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will definitely put up links in the description of the episode, so this way if anybody wants to check out your works, purchase your works as well.
Awesome, I appreciate that
in there. Yeah, especially because I would say I've had you and Sam both on now currently, and same thing with him. He was also writing his books, and I was give me the links, dude. I'm just gonna throw them in the description.
I'm gonna add to that too. Definitely go check out Sam's books. They're really, really good. He's got such a cool universe that he's developed.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I when he started his first book, I was like, dude, I'm buying it. I purchased it while I was talking to him on the fucking recording.
That's amazing.
I was gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna get it. And I was like, eventually when I see you, I need an autograph. Sam,
there you
baby.
go.
But yeah, I've had a great time talking with you.
Likewise, this was a lot of fun. It's been so long since I've talked Metal Gear, so it was fun to jump back into it.
Exactly. I would say for a lot of you, I call you guys kind of alumni of MGM. It's there's a point where it's the podcast has ended, like anything else, like in life, chapters they start and they end, but it's always good to kind of revisit and reminisce and then talk about things that people have enjoyed, especially listeners and people who've also been a part of it and lend their voices, their time, and their efforts to a podcast that I say there's not a lot of Metal Gear podcasts out there. It's one of my most enjoyable ones. I mean there is some out there, but it's it just doesn't have the same quality of comedic with the game gameplay walkthrough kind of ish. And just description, it was book club style. It's that's the most perfect way you can describe it,
Which was always funny because there was always one of us that was oh shit, I still need to catch up, and so we try to cram a bunch of gameplay. Literally, I remember one time I stopped recording. I think I stopped playing as we started recording one time.
Yes, I was gonna say I think you may have been playing it. Either you or somebody from the show was literally playing their way through parts of the game that they had to finish up. I don't know if it was you.
Maybe I don't remember if it was me. It very well may have been. That would be very on brand for me if it was. So I'm going to take half credit for that because I can't remember if it was me or not.
There we go. And I want to thank you thanks thanks Zach for coming on.
This was an absolute pleasure.
Lending your time. Lending your voice. And I would say yes, from my point of view, it's you were kind of one of the sane voices, because there was a cast of characters through various iterations of the podcast that's just wow, it's okay, I'm okay with this person's opinion, but I don't agree with it. That's okay. People can disagree and still be able to conversate and enjoy one another. Unfortunately, that's not how it is right now currently, but I'm not getting political. I'm just saying for whatever reason, fucking A, people, we can all fucking not, we all don't have to fucking be yes men.
Yeah.
And enjoy one another's
as I say to what you say.
Damn it, Zach, you're supposed to say no.
No, I disagree completely. Everyone should not agree ever.
Oh no, that's the opposite. But anyway, you get the gist. Everybody gets the gist of what I'm trying to say. We could all get along. Fucking A, people.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you, Zach, for coming on to the podcast, The Metal Gear Resurrections.